Although I, as a British citizen, have many protections which were struggled for by my forebears, by previous generations, there should be protections that are available to people even if they aren't British citizens. And so, for example, the entitlement not to be persecuted, the right to be able to express your religion, the right to life, the right not to be tortured, the right to have a fair trial before your liberty is taken away from you. One of the interesting things that happened after the Second World War is that there came into being a set of human rights which are described by lawyers as second wave human rights. The first wave of human rights happening at the time of the Enlightenment, and the second wave of human rights coming into being after the Holocaust, after the Second World War, and people saying, we can't allow terrible atrocities to happen and for us as human beings to turn a blind eye. And so the notion of human rights was that whatever legal system you had, there were standards that should be set for all systems around the world. One of the failures of government was that it didn't ever make the case as to why human rights are so important. They didn't champion their wonderful piece of legislation. And as a result, it's allowed the forces of reaction. I mean, it's allowed the tabloid newspapers, it's allowed fears to be inflamed that suddenly, you know, Britain is awash with huge numbers of people, when in fact it isn't true. The numbers of asylum seekers are not anything like what the public imagine them to be. But we're also very tough on asylum seekers because actually what we've created is a climate of disbelief. Because of this debate in the tabloid newspapers, because government are defensive about it and don't want to seem as if they're too generous in the offer to asylum seekers. As a result, the lower courts, the administrative courts, the immigration officers who are making decisions in the front line have actually become very, very disbelieving of the accounts given by asylum seekers. One of the things about the new legislation, the UK Borders Act, is that it does give greatly heightened powers to police and to immigration officers to arrest and to return people to the place from which they've come. I particularly campaign for women and children, and I can't tell you the number of cases where women who have, I have no doubt, have been raped, violated and usually treated in that way because their family are seen to be opponents of a regime somewhere. And often the immigration officers will think, well, this woman may even have had this experience, but it's over now, and if she returns, why should it be repeated? Not recognising the long-term impact of that kind of abuse on someone, and the very real likelihood that if it's her family that are being targeted, that she will possibly suffer again.